as always. I was fortunate enough to work with around 150 women leaders for a large business process outsourcing firm. And in working with them, I found that compartmentalization was never there. I know, they could never afford to say, I can keep my family away when I come into work, right? For them, it was all one and the same. And I think that uh, if you were to just go beyond that, right, and genuinely look at it, uh, it is not a conflict, but it's an ability to harmonize both. And I think there are a lot of advantages that come from a hybrid workplace if one is able to, I would say, begin with acceptance there and saying, yeah, now this is the way it is going to be. We wish it were different, but it's not so.
Related all the workshops, meetings to a period of 90 minutes to 120 minutes maximum to avoid the virtual fatigue and have ample amount of breaks in between in whatever we were doing. I personally juggled a lot. I know that that boundary started to get bleak, and I'm working at the time I should be with my children, or I am I'm with my kids, helping them resolve some their school issues because the school is going on and they need help. I have to switch off my work and just move to that. So I was switching hats. However, with time, we've all learned our ways, and I'm sure now everybody has figured out how to, deal with it. What enabled me was experimenting with all sort of calendars.
Fully able to show up without fear of being reprimanded. So, and you can bring more of yourself to something when you feel safe. So I think I try and describe it like, think of psychological safety as the soil, not the seed. So it's what we plant things in. So if we want to build relationships, optimize trust, the groundwork is really building a place or an environment where people feel safe.
Just to add, there's been a lot of research nowadays, and companies are figuring it out, like what model would work moving forward. Around 74% people prefer working at least 3 days from home, as per that survey done by McKinsey and a couple of other, which had similar numbers. So now people are wanting to be in this model. However, for team bonding and connecting, certainly they want some, room. And hence, people want to work from offices near to their hometowns, wherein they can come together with the team. So that's where we are heading.
Yeah, so we talk about this in classical coaching terms, right? Before coaching, if I were to call it that way, I was more focused on the problem, the box, and I wanted to solve the box, right? Versus as a coach, I think I'm looking at the person, right? In front of me, or the people in front of me. And I think that's a big difference in Inderjeet. You're looking at, who they are as a person and working with them rather than looking at it as somebody that I need to manage or lead, right? So it is actually very freeing. I don't need to manage somebody. I don't need to lead them. I have no pressure to inspire them, influence them. I just show up and I talk about whatever comes to me, whatever inspires me, whatever comes to me. And the rest, whatever has to happen within them, it will happen. Right? I would say a lot more freeing to be a coach rather than try to be a leader or a manager.
Yeah, so thank you for asking that question. And the answer remains in the question itself. It's the intelligent use of emotions, I would say. And drawing back from Rumi, it also means that, welcome all of these emotions. We as individuals, we have a habit of, accepting the positive emotions, but not acknowledging the not so positive ones. And this is us who have labeled it as good and a bad emotion. However, each of them, again, as Rumi says, is a teacher from beyond. We have to really, acknowledge and see what message is this emotion giving me, rather than shunning it off, rather than engaging in something which is going to resist this emotion. So I think the first thing foremost is to be open for all and not
So
label them as, rather see what message is there for us.
I was just reflecting on what you're saying, because mine is being smarter with feelings. So, and it does relate to what you're saying. It's understanding that there are no right or wrong emotions. We are all hardwired to feel and to welcome emotions as data, as information. And what is the data trying to tell us? So it really does speak to what you just spoke about with Rumi. So all emotions serve a purpose, but we've learnt our emotional intelligence initially from what's been modeled early for us. So some of us are comfortable with emotions, some aren't. But really, if we boil it down, it's being smarter with feelings and being open to the data that comes when we tune into emotions. So, and how we utilize that.
Okay, all right. For me, it is about accepting whatever comes and not really care about what does not come.
Yeah.
So see, life is presenting itself to you. Instead of labeling it, saying this I like, this I don't like, this is good, this is bad. Again, like what Pooja is saying. So that intelligence is one of accepting whatever comes, not caring about what doesn't come.
So there is more. This is a neuroscientific sort of question. There is this thoughts versus emotions kind of questions that Ajinkya has asked Pooja. I think it is in reference to the Rumi thing that you spoke about, the Rumi's poem. You have Shunryu Suzuki also speaks about leave your front and back doors open, let your thoughts come and go freely, just don't serve them tea. That is, don't give them any feed. Yeah. But then is that not in opposite to what Rumi said, is the question in here. Do you want to respond to that?
Okay, that's a very fair perspective to hold. I would say that you have to see that how are they serving you and to what limit are they serving you, and that's the limit, that's the boundary you create. You will welcome the guest, but you will not let them cross your boundaries. You cannot let them go all over you. You will not invite them to in your private space, right? You will give them good, comfortable place to be in. So that's how I would like to look at. The magical thing about emotions is that it all starts from our thought.
Yeah.
Is what I feel. So we realize that, the moment I'm thinking of something unpleasant, the sensation passes in my body and I'm immediately, into that emotion. So we learn from it that the emotions don't come to us. We generally go to the emotions. And that gives us a lot of power to bring us out of a particular emotion. So we are the creator of it, I would say. We just need to turn the thought and we can switch the room they are in. It's for us whether we want to be in the same room or we want to be in a different room.
Yeah, great point. And we can train the thoughts through practice to actually create the right kind of emotions as well, is something I've heard.